child ran into the biker's arms crying. The restaurant went silent. Asterisk, asterisk, what would you do if a crying child suddenly ran into a biker's arms in front of a whole restaurant watching? If you love Hell's Angels, prove it now. Stay till the end. Milwaukee's famous Rusty Barrel Diner wasn't exactly known for peace. It was loud, crowded, chaotic families eating, workers shouting orders, teenagers laughing too loud, forks clinking on plates. It smelled of grilled steak, burnt coffee, and a bit of attitude. But today, there was a different kind of silence coming, a silence nobody expected, a silence that would turn a normal afternoon into a memory no one in that restaurant would ever forget. At a table near the window sat Reaper, the president of the local Hells Angels chapter, broad shoulders, black leather vest, tattoos creeping up his neck like stories written in ink, and a face that looked carved from stone. He wasn't smiling. He rarely did. His brothers, T-Bone, Maddox, and Ghost, sat with him, big men, intimidating men, the type of men mothers quietly pulled their kids away from in grocery stores. But they were there for one reason only, a meal after a 300-mile charity ride. If only the people around them knew that. They didn't. To everyone else, the Hells Angels sitting in the corner booth looked like trouble waiting to happen. But trouble was about to come from somewhere else. Outside the diner, a little boy around 7 years old stood pressed against the glass. Thin, dirty clothes, backpack half, eyes red from crying. He kept looking behind him, panicked, terrified, and then he ran inside. The door slammed open so hard that the bell above it shook violently. Customers turned. Forks stopped mid-air. The waitress froze. And then the boy scanned the restaurant like someone running from a monster. His gaze locked on Reaper, as if the biker was the only safe person in the world, and he bolted forward. Before anyone could say a word, before anyone could react, before any adult could even stand, the child ran straight into the biker's arms, so hard he couldn't breathe. Reaper stiffened, T-Bone's jaw dropped. The entire restaurant stared. The tough biker looked down at the tiny shaking boy, gripping his vest like he was holding on to life itself. And then Reaper's voice, deep, gravelly, dangerous sounding, softened in a way nobody had ever heard. Easy, kid. You're safe now. That one sentence made the entire restaurant hold its breath. Seconds later, the door slammed open again. A man walked in, tall, heavyset, red face, angry eyes, the kind of anger that didn't simmer, it boiled, and he shouted, "Hey, boy, get back here." Every customer in the restaurant flinched. Reaper didn't. The boy hid his face deeper into Reaper's chest, trembling violently. Reaper looked up, slowly. The entire Hells Angels table turned toward the shouting man, and a storm entered Reaper's eyes. That was the moment the restaurant knew. This wasn't a normal situation. This wasn't a scared kid. This wasn't a lost boy. This was a cry for help. And the Hells Angels had just stepped into the middle of it. The biker's standbone stood up first, Ghost next. Maddox cracked his knuckles. Reaper gently placed his hand over the boy's shoulders. The shouting man barked, "Give me the kid. He's my responsibility." Reaper's voice dropped into something dark. "Doesn't look like you were taking good care of him." The man took a step forward. The restaurant gasped. Reaper stood slow, towering, terrifying. The boy clung tighter, and then Reaper said the words that froze everyone's blood. "Take one more step." Silence, deep, heavy, electric. The kind of silence where destinies shift. The restaurant was frozen in time, eyes wide, hands shaking, breaths held. The child's sobs echoed through the diner like tiny heartbreaks. Reaper kept one hand on the boy's trembling back, his leather vest damp from the child's tears. The man at the door stood puff-chested, fists clenched, veins rising along his neck. His glare wasn't the glare of a worried guardian. It was the glare of a predator furious his prey had slipped away. Reaper's brothers, Brone, Ghost, Maddox positioned themselves so smoothly and silently that the entire restaurant felt the shift in energy. 3 Hells Angels now formed a wall. The man realized he'd just walked into the worst possible room. "The lies begin," I said. The man barked louder. "Give me the damn kid. He's my nephew. He's just upset today." The boy shook his head violently against Reaper's chest. "No," he whispered. No, he's lying. He's lying." Reaper lowered himself to the boy's eye level, his massive frame folding gently, like the boy was something fragile he was afraid to break. "Kid," Reaper said softly, You don't gotta look at him. Just talk to me." The boy breathed like someone running from fire. He took me. He grabbed me outside the school. He tried to put me in his car." T-Bone's fists tightened so hard the knuckles popped. Ghost muttered under his breath, "Son of a." The man's face changed instantly. He realized the boy wasn't going along with his lie, so he tried another. "He's confused," the man shouted. "He does this. He makes up stories." Reaper rose to his full, terrifying height. "You calling this kid a liar when he's shaking like a leaf?" The man's mouth twitched, and everyone noticed. People who are caught lying always blink faster. He just blinked enough to tell the truth without speaking. The boy breaks DOW. The kid clutched Reaper's vest tighter, fingers gripping the leather patches like they were life rafts. "He said he was gonna hurt me if I screamed. I didn't know where to run. I saw you. I saw your jacket. I thought you'd help." Reaper didn't breathe for 3 full seconds. The kid recognized the Hell's Angels logo as safety. That hit Reaper harder than any punch he'd taken on the road. "You did right," Reaper said, voice deep and steady. "You're safe now. We got you." The boy sobbed into him, and this time Reaper put an arm around him slowly, gently, protective like a father shielding his own child. The biker's close in bones stepped forward, cracking his neck. "So," he growled, voice rumbling, "you tried to snatch a kid." "I didn't," the man shouted. Maddox folded his arms. "Then why's he clinging to Reaper like you're the devil himself?" Ghost pulled out his phone. "Should I call the cops now, or after Reaper rearranges your face?" The man's bravado cracked. He stepped back. The whole restaurant noticed. Predators are brave only when the victim is smaller. The moment 3 leather-wearing giants stared him down, he shrank like a wet paper bag. "The waitress speaks you, Peter." Young waitress Sarah stepped forward, rubbing her hands nervously on her apron. I saw him outside," she said. "I saw the boy trying to walk away, and that man grabbing his backpack." The man froze. Sarah continued, voice stronger now. "I didn't know what was happening, but it didn't look right. Every witness mattered. Every eye in the restaurant turned against the man. He was sweating now, cornered, consposed, and very, very afraid." Reaper's WRONINJ. Reaper stepped closer. So close, the man had to tilt his head back to look him in the eyes. "If that kid says you grabbed him, and the waitress saw it, and you followed him in here screaming." Reaper leaned forward, voice dropping to a whisper that carried more threat than a roar. "Then you're not walking out of here the way you came in." The man swallowed hard. The man tries to escape without warning. The man turned and bolted toward the door, but he didn't make it far. Ghost stepped around the front tables so fast that customers gasped. He slammed his hand against the door, blocking it with his entire frame. "You're not going anywhere, bud." The man looked around, panicked. Everyone's phone was out, cameras recording, voices whispering, people ready to testify. He was trapped inside a cage made of witnesses and bikers. The boy tells the truth. Reaper looked down at the boy, wiping his tears gently with the edge of his glove. "What's your name, kid?" "Ethan," the boy whispered. "Ethan," Reaper said, "you're safe here. Tell me the truth. All of it. We'll protect you." The boy took a shaky breath, looked up at Reaper, and said the words that made everyone feel sick. He was waiting for another kid, but I walked past first, and he grabbed me instead. The whole diner went silent, dead silent. Every parent clutched their child closer. Reaper's jaw tightened until a vein pulsed across his temple. Face turned red with rage. Ghost muttered, "I swear to God." Maddox ran a hand down his beard, fighting the urge to break. This wasn't just a bad man. This was a predator, and he had picked the wrong restaurant, on the wrong day, with the wrong bikers inside. The predator stood trembling near the doorway, his escape blocked by Ghost's massive frame. The restaurant had become a courtroom, every witness glaring judgment at him. The boy, Ethan, was still pressed against Reaper's chest, small, fragile, but safer than he had been in hours. Reaper kept one protective hand on the child, while turning his cold, steel gaze toward the man. "Sit," Reaper growled. The man hesitated. T-Bone slammed a chair behind him. "Sit," he repeated. The man sank into the seat. The police arrived within minutes. 2 police cruisers screeched to a stop outside the diner. The officers walked in cautiously, hands near their belts, not sure what scene they were stepping into. One officer recognized Reaper immediately. "Reaper, we heard you called." Reaper nodded once. He didn't move, didn't blink, didn't loosen his hold on the boy. This kid, Reaper said slowly, says that man grabbed him outside his school, tried to force him into a car. The officers exchanged a tense look. Then Ethan raised his head and whispered, "It's true. He tried to take me." The officer knelt beside the boy. "You're safe now. We'll take care of this." But Ethan shook his head and clung tighter to Reaper. "No, please don't leave me, please." Reaper's expression softened, barely, but enough that everyone in the diner saw it. "It's okay, kid. We're not going anywhere." The man Biari, the officer, turned to the predator. "Sir, you're being detained for attempted child abduction," the man snapped. "I didn't do anything. He ran into me, not the other way around." The entire restaurant erupted. "He's lying. I saw him grab the boy. He chased him inside." The waitress, Sarah, stepped forward again. "He grabbed him by the backpack outside. I saw it clearly." The man paled. Every witness in the diner had the same story. There was no escape. The officers cuffed him, and the man screamed, "You're all ruining my life. He's lying. He's a lying." Little Reaper took one step forward, and the man shut up instantly. Some men grow quiet when they realize the world no longer believes them. Some men grow quiet when justice finally comes, and some men grow quiet because they're afraid of what a Hell's Angel can do with just a look. The predator was dragged out, still shouting, still trying to curse the world that had closed in on him. But Ethan didn't watch. He buried his face into Reaper's vest again. The officer knelt beside him. "Do you know where your parents are, son?" Ethan whispered. "I don't have any. Mum died last year. Dad left before that." A hush fell over the diner. The officer exhaled slowly. "Do you have anyone? A relative? A friend?" Ethan shook his head. "I was walking home alone today, like always, and he grabbed me." The boy's voice cracked, and Reaper felt something inside him shift. Not anger, not rage, something deeper, something older, a memory, a reminder, a piece of his own childhood he never shared with anyone. He gently placed his hands on Ethan's shoulders. "Look at me, kid." Ethan looked up through tears. "You're not alone anymore. Not today. Not ever." The officer makes a decision. The officers exchanged a glance, and one of them spoke carefully. "Reaper, the boy trusts you. It might help if you stay with him while we sort arrangements." Ghost grinned. T-Bone clapped Reaper's shoulder. Maddox nodded, arms crossed like a protective guardian. The Hells Angels stepped closer, forming a silent circle around Ethan. To the entire restaurant, it didn't look like a biker gang. It looked like a family, a dangerous, loud, tattooed family, but a family nonetheless. The officer nodded respectfully. "We'll take the boy to the station for paperwork. But if he wants you there, then you should come too." Ethan squeezed Reaper's gloved hand. "Please, don't leave me." Reaper didn't hesitate. "I'm right here, kid." A new BGIN hours later, at the station, paperwork was filed. Statements were taken. Everything confirmed what Ethan said. The predator. He wasn't just a random man. He had been seen near multiple schools, on multiple days waiting. But that chapter of the story was over. For good. Ethan sat next to Reaper, wearing Reaper's oversized leather vest draped around him like a blanket. T brought him fries. Ghost brought him hot chocolate. Maddox taught him how to fist bump without hurting his knuckles. And for the first time, Ethan laughed. A small laugh, but it was real. One officer approached Reaper quietly. "You know, foster care is full. There's a chance he'll be placed far from here. He's attached to you. If there's any chance you'd consider..." Reaper didn't let him finish. "We'll take him." The officer blinked. "You're serious?" Reaper placed a hand on the boy's head. "That kid ran to me for protection. That means something. I won't let the world hurt him again." Ethan looked up. "You mean I can stay with you?" Reaper smiled, his first real smile in years. "If that's what you want." The boy threw his arms around him, and just like that, a child who had no family found one. A biker who thought his heart was too broken to love again, found something worth fighting for. And the world, for once, made sense. If this story touched your heart, please subscribe to Bikers Hype. Like and share this video with your friends. And if you love Hells Angels, share this video and help us reach our 1000 subscribers target. Now, prove your love. Drop your name in the comments so we can give your name to a character in the next video.